All right. I am coming to you live this afternoon, and I have two things I want to do before I start out talking um, on something I wanted to share with you today. Okay, a subject title. And it's going to be, I'm going to say, informative, but also a little funny because I heard it, but it was broken down by a comedian. So, anyways, I'm gonna put it in my own form of how I want to discuss it. Uh, when people have been chosen in life, and all of us have been chosen at some point in our life to be leaders, and so what I'm gonna say, like I said, you're gonna enjoy it. Uh, so, anyways, the first thing I want to mention on this afternoon is that I wanted to advertise tomorrow night's podcast with Miss Monica Jenkins. And she's going to be coming on to Electra James Inspirational Talk, 6:30 on tomorrow night. I'm excited about that. I'm so ready for tomorrow night to happen, as I always am, because people come on and they bring so much of their own personal stories. And I'm just excited about that. Um, and she's going to be talking about the criminal justice system, um, and working in it, as well as having raising a family at the time that she is working in this role. And she continues to work in that role, but she's also a mighty woman of God. So, it's her story. I'm not going to sit here tonight and try to tell you her story because I don't know her story. That's why I bring people on to Electra James Inspirational Talks so that they can tell their own story. You can't tell somebody else's story, okay? And that's the beauty of the podcast, is to have real people telling their real life stories. So on tomorrow night, if you can, join us on Electra James Inspirational Talks. That's my YouTube channel. And the podcast will go live at 6:30 p.m. And so that's that announcement. So what I wanted to kind of share with you a little bit on tonight, because I've been seeing, and those of you that know me know I watch and follow politics, but I'm not here to discuss politics. I'm here to some things that I saw that and not just in that realm, just things that I've seen throughout my life, and then just more of it happening today, where people just don't stand up when they should. People don't let their voices be heard when they should. And these people are people like you and myself who are in leadership in roles in some part of life. And it don't matter what angle it comes from. And as we see today, we have so much, and a lot of us, not just me, other people follow politics too, and you shaking your head wondering what is really going on. Are they working for the people, or are they just working for themselves? To get rich quick, not a quick thing, but just get rich and continue to get rich off the backs of the American people, because we are, we the people are part of this government system that we live in. And so, anyways, I saw that, and something that kind of disturbed me in that, but I'm not here again to talk about politics. I want to talk about Noodle Knees. Noodle knees. So many people got noodle knees. You heard it right. Noodle knees. And what it brought to my mind is that they have no spine. People in leadership roles with no spine, afraid to stand up to the people that they need to stand up to. You got noodle knees in your home if You are the parent in the home and the children running the house and you're not making no decision. You following whatever their directives are. That's noodle knees. If that male is in that home as the leader of that household, but he don't make no decisions, you got to make all the decisions. That's noodle knees. Noodle knees, even when you go into your church houses. If you got a leader in that role, a pastor, and he don't make decisions, the one that make the decisions is the membership make all the decisions. He don't make no decisions. He just do whatever they say. They tell him what to preach and what not to preach. That's noodle knees. That is noodle knees, whether we want to see it that way or not. In our local, in our state, in our federal government, you elect people and you put people in place to stand up for you and to do the right thing for you and to do right by you as citizens of the United States. But everybody act like they scared of everybody. And then when people do wrong, you got people don't even want the people to stand up for what's right. And so they do whatever they got to do to please the people they got to please, to keep the positions that they in. That's noodle knees. And you call that leadership? See, anytime that you are placed in a leadership role and you allow the people that you're supposed to be in that role to oversee and to make things that run accordingly and to be in charge, instead of you taking the front seat, you sitting in the back seat. That's noodle knees. That's weak leadership. That is not taking charge, because you will never make decisions as long as you got noodle knees. Noodle knees, you know, they got these things like you can get in the pool and they call them noodles, and they come in different colors and they real long, kind of soft foam-like thing. They call them noodles, and you kind of float in the water. Okay, so when you got noodle knees, you just floating in the water. You just floating. You say whatever makes the people feel good, but you never do what's right for the people. And again, that's on every spectrum when you have noodle knees. Some of us have noodle knees and we call ourselves entrepreneurs. How can you run a company where you don't even believe in yourself? You don't even believe in what you're doing. And if you do, you're not running it. You letting everybody else tell you how you ought to run it. That's noodle knees. And that's not good for you. And that's not good for the people who look at you as supposedly, quote unquote, of being a leader. You can't lead from behind. You cannot lead from behind. I don't know why we got this concept in our mind that we can lead from behind. Some people do. It's a real thing. If one person says something to them, they go along with that person. Then somebody else come along and say something to them, and they go along with whatever that person says. You know, and it just goes on and on and on. People, that is noodle knees. You have no stability. You are letting people bend you. And when people bend you with noodle knees, eventually they're going to start riding your back. Because they can't ride your back unless they bend you. But noodle knee people are some weak people. I begin to understand this as I think about this and meditate this on it and wonder why I see so many people just in different roles in life. Like they can't stand up, and then you wondering, like, what's really going on with you? Why would you want a leadership role that you can't even be a leader? You can't even act like a leader. You can't do the things that a leader does. You sit silent, but you call yourself a leader. You got noodle knees when you are like that. Everybody's going to run that thing but you. And I don't care what role you in, When you have noodle knees, you're not no good to yourself, nor the people that you represent. Because you're too weak. You have no spine. It's so many people that don't have a spine. They want the roles, but they don't have a spine. They don't have a spine to call people out. They don't have a spine to say, that's not right. That's not becoming. That's disrespectful. Whatever it is. And that means when you don't have that, you got noodle knees. You just like them noodles you can go to the store and buy. I'm not talking about the ones you eat. I'm talking about the ones that those foam things that you put in the water. They call them noodles. And you just put your arms over them and float. That's what you are when you have noodle knees. You don't want people to criticize you. Guess what? When you're in a leadership role, people gonna criticize you. Everybody not gonna like you. Everybody not gonna like your decisions. But as long as you know that you're doing the right thing for the people, then, or in your home. Let's get to these home settings. You can't be the man of the house, but you don't have a backbone. You don't call no shots. You don't know when something is happening, some rapid at the door is happening, you send your wife to the door. You don't even go check. You send her to the door. That's noodle knees. So if somebody else gonna burglarize the house, they'll get her first because you send her to the door. You back there gonna hide and jump in the closet. What's gonna happen to the children? What about their safety? See how far noodle knees can take you to disaster? If that woman maybe she's a single parent, for whatever the cause might be. Sometimes people just become widows early, for whatever the reason. But she got children. She the leader in that household. But she letting the children run the household. She's sending the children to the door to do the things that she should go to the door and do. She's sending the children to answer the phone when she should be answering the phone and talking to adults. It doesn't matter how you put it, how you see it, how you want to call it. If you are not, listen to me closely, if you are not standing up in your role, in your leadership role, no matter what it is, if you are not standing up to that role in your home, or if you're not standing up in that role into decision making, whatever your role might be, you got noodle knees. And that means that you need to reevaluate yourself. You need to take a look at your strengths and your capabilities. Because if you can't stand up when people need you to stand up, if you can't take on that leadership when people need you to take on leadership, you got noodle knees. I don't care how you want to look at it. And let me tell you something. People don't respect people that got noodle knees. They really don't. Because you know what? They know that I heard another potter. That's what they call you when you have podcasts. They call you potters. So I heard another potter say this. He said, it don't matter if y'all don't agree with everything that I say. But you can't get upset with the person who is saying it. You take what I say and see which pieces apply to you and try to do better by you. I'm just saying what a lot of other people saying. I'm just saying it a different way. See, there's a lot of people who are saying the same thing that I'm saying. They just saying it a different way. There's a lot of you who will see this video and you have thought about leadership and the lack of leadership time and time again. And just what I'm saying is what you've been seeing and what you've been saying to yourself, because you've been around people who have noodle knees. They have no backbone. They are afraid to be that leader that they're supposed to be. And that's not a good way to be. Why is America so in trouble right now? You know why we're in so much trouble right now? Because we got so many people sitting around here in huge rows with noodle knees. With noodle knees. They're afraid to do the right thing because they're afraid of what it's going to cost them, personally cost them. And guess what? You remember when I talked maybe about a month ago, what do we do about the people who fall? What do we do about them? And you know what? I've come to learn there are many people who want people to fall because they benefit. Many people benefit off people who fall. Because if you down, then I can criticize you to make myself look better. When I'm not going to do nothing to help you, I'm just going to sit and criticize you. And then I'm going to take that as, let me step over to my brain side of the political side of my brain. I'm going to take that to use it to fight for something that's going to benefit me, and it's not going to help you no kind of way. It's the same thing that happens in everyday life. It happens in the workplace. It happens on state and local level. It happens in churches. It happens in our personal lives. People, when people got noodle knees, they can't help you. They cannot help themselves. That's why you can have a politician put something out there about killing another politician. That's crazy. And people accept that, and people follow that, and people go and keep these people in these leadership roles.